Good day, viewers. So once again, welcome to my YouTube channel. I usually bring the very best. Nnamdi Kanu has become the topic of the global world currently. It is happening inside the courtroom at the very day that Justice Omotosho sentenced Nnamdi Kanu to life imprisonment. Nnamdi Kanu told him, "Show me the law." He shouted that Justice Omotosho should show him the law. Now it has become a global trend. The shirt is out currently, all written Justice Omotosho, show me the law. The Afan evangelist, Kanu is taking all over the world currently, and it is trending. I would like you to have a say on this.
Yeah, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, depending your time zone. May God bless you, all our viewers. May the Lord bless you and bless us too. Regarding to the case of Nnamdi Kanu, Nnamdi Kanu has become a global phenomenon that can never be sidelined, nor silent, nor pocket, nor put at the corner any longer, because the attention of the world are now focusing on him. Because as I'm talking to you now, in the American Congress, they are now discussing because of what the death penalty that Nigerian is submitting in appeal court that will take place on 15th of June, being on Monday, court appeal case. Now the thing now trigger the word again that make the congressmen in America started discussing the issue of Nnamdi Kanu, giving a letter to ICC, asking them to summon Nigerian government because it was 2017 under Muhammadu Buhari, the late Muhammadu Buhari's government, that Nnamdi Kanu home was ransacked and demolished by Nigerian brutal who happened to be the minister of what? Of chief of staff as at that time. And you know, in 2015, when Nnamdi Kanu was arrested and was judged in Nigerian court, which Abaribe happened to be one of the people that bailed Nnamdi Kanu out of the court. And a warning was issued to Nnamdi Kanu that he should not address more than 10 persons. But when Nnamdi Kanu came out, he addressed more than thousands as a result of what? The love and the trust that people saw in him, the integrity and the discipline and the principle. And the love that people loved him as a result of they have seen somebody that will speak for them because they are seeing him as the voice of the voiceless. So as we see him as the voice of we that are the voiceless, everybody trooped in and followed him. And that was what led to brutal attack to his home, unknowingly to Nigerian government, Buhari, as at that time, that in the home of Nnamdi Kanu in Umuahia, that Nnamdi Kanu stored ICC camera TV that captured every activities that took place in his home that very day, that led to the assassination of over 100 and something number of, the Biafrans who gathered in the home of Nnamdi Kanu on that very day. I don't know whether you get the point. So now, and as at that time, the major attention was to assassinate Kanu, which God helped him to escape. And this tape was the tape that Nnamdi Kanu took along while he was running for his dear life. And he went away with it. And he submitted most of those tapes to EU, UN, and every other nation that cares to know, so that they will watch and see one of the atrocities of Nigerian government against him and against human rights and against the Biafrans. Even the one after, beside the one of 1967 to 1970, another genocide that are taking place again against the Biafrans. So now they have taken that decision, that discussion now in the Congress, and they have sent a letter to ICC to someone now. Muhammadu Buhari is no longer alive, but Bruta is still alive. Uh, Jeremiah was that man. Taradima was his name. He's still alive. These are the people and the couple with other persons. And Sidias Musa and the rest are to face ICC under the construction and the instruction of who? The American congressmen to ICC. So Nigeria is going to face the heat. And now they are now coming up again with what? A death penalty. How? You see why all these things is coming out, and there is no way they can silence the young man. And for your information, freedom is divine. For if freedom is not divine, Christ wouldn't have died for us. If freedom is not divine, God himself wouldn't have slaughtered an animal in Genesis chapter 3, verse 21, and used the skin of the animal to cover the nakedness of a man. If freedom is not divine, in the book of Exodus, Moses wouldn't have been arrested by God and sent and returned back to Egypt for the freedom of what? Of the children of Israel that are in the land of Egypt as at that time. So freedom is divine. And the fundamental human rights must be respected accordingly because it is divine. And whosoever or any government that is violating the law of the people is attracting the anger of God and the anger of men. Take a look at what happened in Iran. It was as a result of the violation of their rights that makes America to intervene. Likewise, every other part. So also, which I'm expecting America for long now to step into Nigeria with military action. Because the violation of our rights, the Christian ones in Nigeria, has been violated. Our law, our rights has been violated. I will give you an example. Remember there was a time they killed one lady, what was his name? Chioma or thereabout. Because of what? Religion, they stoned her to death. A student. Remember, because she's a Christian. Remember, Deborah. You understand? Yeah, Deborah, God bless you. Then remember the other a girl during the time of Chibok girl, a little girl who refused to accept Islam at the age of tender age. Today she's just 23 with it. Is she up to 23 years now that she's having about how many children? 4 children. Under what? Violation of her own self-rights. And government didn't do anything regard to that. Forcefully sexual harassment. And on has been going on. Take a look at Jackson Sunday from Bauchi, a young man in his own farm who defended himself from the hands of a traitor, the Fulani, the terrorist, who visited his farm to vandalize his crops with his cow, with a knife. And when he tried to resist, a knife was pulled by the Fulani terrorist to attack him, to stab him, to kill him. Then what happened? God so kind, God now gave him the strength to overpower the Fulani terrorists. And at the end of the day, eventually the Fulani now died. And don't you see the way the Nigerian government now twist the matter and corner it to the point that they now judge the matter by hanging, that they should have run away. You see the way they twisted it, because the young man Jackson Sunday is a Christian. If not for the intervention of the Americans, that was how Sunday Jackson would have been by hanging. Now, back to Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. The Mazen Nnamdi Kanu 2017 issue is what is playing now. Nigerian government have actually admitted that the judgment, and before now, Kanu, under the watch of Muhammadu Buhari, was taken to court, even after violating that. You know, he was kidnapped by the Nigerian government under Muhammadu Buhari, Oshibanjo, and co. After the kidnapping, they took him to court, which he conquered in Nigerian court. The matter was treated and judged. He was he became victorious. Then Muhammadu Buhari refuses Mazen Nnamdi Kanu to go home. There is another violation of his right. Somebody you accused of something, and he went to court, and he was discharged and acquitted. What is supposed to do? You're supposed to allow him to go and see his family, but you denied him of that. It's an offense against humanity. And not only that, you kept him under the dungeon of the DSS since that time until this very moment. Now, Bola Ahmed Tinubu came to power, now said that they want to visit the case. Now you are revisiting the case under the very watch of Bola Ahmed Tinubu with the concubines and combination of the Fulanis and the British. Because the British were supposed to intervene as being their citizen and being a kidnapped case, not a renditional conditional case. Because for you to bring somebody back to Nigeria, there are procedures, there are protocols you must go through with the certificate and stamp and signature that must go through before bringing that person to Nigeria. But the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu was violated and it became illegal. And that is another case against Nigeria, violation of law, which at the end of the day, the Kenya government has finally went through it by the lawyer of Mazen Nnamdi with the help of Masanga, the Pan-African president. He is an activist. You understand? Human rights activist. With the help of and the support of that man, at the end of the day, Kenya admitted that yes, they violated the young man's rights and they are ready to amend it, which they vow and they promise to give Kanu 10 million, 10,000 shillings. That is that worth 120 million Nigeria currency, just for the case to die down. Now, when this case was going on in Nigerian court, in Abuja Federal High Court, from there till the very day that Kanu was finally judged, Binta was the one handling the case. But when Binta drew her head because she have refused to judge illegal judgment, to carry out what Nigeria wanted her to carry against Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. And there is no law, because when you are judging a man, you must show the man the law at which you are judging him. Even though the person is to be condemned, it must carry a written law, a documented law, a constitutional law. You must show it to him, and he himself must see it. And the two, before you convict a man in the court, the person must be present in the courtroom with his legal team or lawyer before you pass that judgment. And you must prove it in his presence. But in the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, he was sent out with his lawyers, and his absent, a judgment was passed. You convinced him in his absence without a law backing it, without any written document, without any constitutional law that stand it, that qualifies you as a judge and him as an offender to stand to face the consequences. And now, the government of Nigeria, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, was watching it. I don't know if you watched the case that day. On that very day, Omotosho brought out a book. And when he brought out a book, he started reading a written memo that was given to him. After reading it, he just made a pronouncement without backing it up with Nigerian constitutional written law. And a British man, the man who wrote the British law in 18th centuries and the 21st centuries, stated it clearly that where there is no that every law must be documented, must be constitutionally written. That a place where there is no documented written law is a place where there is no offense. And now that's why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in the court asked Omotosho, where is the law at which you are using to judge me? Do you understand? There must be a law that you will use to judge a man. And that law must be written in the constitution of the land. And now there is no place in Nigerian law, in Nigerian constitution, regarding to the accused of a thing which you accuse Kanu. There is no place written that so place regarding to so thing, see what will happen to that person. It's not a Nigerian constitution. It was there, let me know, it was there before, but it was removed in 2022. And the plan was repaired in 2013-14, thereabout, when they were planning to, to bring the Fulanis. I don't know whether you listen to this man called Abubakar Baraja Kawu, who stated declaring that this Fulanis was brought for an election in 2015. Do you understand? And he said they brought them from Mali, Senegal, Niger, and Chad, Sierra Leone. Do you understand? Now the election is over, then refused to go. This man said, as APC chieftain said this. Okay, now Nigeria government watched Omotosho to carry out all this. At the end of the day, what did Nigerian government do? Nothing. But now in our appeal court, it is now the Nigerian government now admitted that that judgment passed by Omotosho against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was wrong. Now, since it was wrong, definitely everything about it is completely wrong. So they have to let him go. And now they are coming in another angle to bring judgment of death sentence, which is not going to happen. You see why that matter of what the genocide that took place in Mazi Nnamdi Kanu house was discussed, pumped up again. That is to tell you the strategic plans of Nigeria. Because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has refused to accept the offer given to him by the British. He has refused to accept the offer given to him by Buhari government. He has refused to accept the offer given to him by Tinubu government. He has refused to accept the offer of the elders, the caliphate, the Fulani has given to him. He has refused to accept the offer that the elders, all those Ndefurefu, come together, the Igbo lost tribe, come together, offer him. He refused. You see why they are now saying within themselves that, okay, since it has gotten to this point, and in May, in September 24, 2024, yes, Kanu make a statement in the court. He said, do you know what he said? He said, the suffering of my people will end in me, and I will end Nigeria. So then himself now saying it, okay, since this man has proven stubborn, has refused to accept all the offers we give to him, then let's do it this way. You see why they're now coming up with death sentence to submit in appeal court. And let me see who will judge that, who will pass such judgment, and expect them, under the watch of the global world now, where we carry such assignment. That is where I'm waiting for. On Monday, we start the hearing. We now know what will be the fate of Kanu and the fate of Nigeria in appeal court.
Reverend Evangelist, you've done super great analysis to this. Now, this brings me to my question because I know my viewers will be curious. You said that Nigerian government are now coming out to say that the judgment that was passed by Justice Omotosho was wrong.
Yeah.
Which means, are they trying to say that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu should have been sentenced to death
Before
now, not life imprisonment?
Yes.
So what I'm simply trying to say that they want to counter appeal so that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will be sentenced to death.
Yes.
Do you think this is going to be possible finally?
Now, finally, to do justice to the justice of the matter, what they would have done is what want to do now, they fail. And that is what they are trying to do now. But now it's not going to work again. Do you know why? The reason is people have stepped in. The global matters world have stepped in. And it will not be possible that under their watch that such a thing will carry on. And remember, finally, that there was a condition given to Nigeria regarding to the case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu, which is constitutional rights of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu regarding to the matter. Constitutional rights, he must be judged according to the Nigerian constitution. And there is no place, no paragraph in Nigerian constitution that carry a place that a terrorist should be sentenced to death. They have repaired, they have removed it. And that is why you see Shegumi working freely. That's why you see all these terrorists, Toji Bell of them, acting what they are acting, and nothing is happening to them. Nobody is going to arrest them. Even when you arrest them, you still free them because it was not in the Nigerian law. They have removed it. You get the point? So I want to know where Nigeria wants to stand now. That is number one. Number two, they must judge Kanu based on his fundamental human rights. And moreover, Kanu is not just a Biafran citizen or a Nigerian citizen, per se, as they are calling it now. He is now a global, international citizen. Even the British now cannot fold their hand. Even though they fold their hand, the Georgia, America will not fold their hand because he has become their citizen, a Georgian citizen, recognized, approved by the, who? Americans. So, an American's men are in Nigeria. How do you then think that under their watch you now buy their own citizen? Would that be possible? It's not going to be possible. Then, three, you must judge the Kanu case as what? A freedom activist, a freedom fighter, which have right under the UN. He have his right under EU to agitate for his freedom, to fight for his freedom and the freedom of his people. So therefore, international constitution must be looked into. Written document of international law must follow. You understand? Must be followed in the case of Mazen Nnamdi. So if you watch all these conditions, you will agree with me that Nigeria is not going anywhere in this case of Mazen Nnamdi Kanu. Mazen Nnamdi Kanu is winning and he has conquered Nigeria already. So the only thing is that Nigeria should just bow down their head in shame and back out. They have failed, they have failed. They should just take it like that.
Well said, Biafran evangelist. You've done super analysis. Have a nice day, my viewers.
God bless you.